All right, everybody. All right, everyone. Um, Welcome to the second part um, of this particular section. Yeah, we ran this particular code here, and it worked. But what we are doing now is just to run a code and see how it works. But this particular thing that we ran, which is called strings, the kind of data type that is being passed to this print statement is called string. Yes, we don't have access to it after we have run it. We can't make reference to it because we are just running it without storing it um, in a memory. Like right now, it's not in our memory. It's not stored in our memory. It's not in our RAM. So to be able to do that, then we have a concept known as variable. So we have to store this particular data, this string data here, inside what is called variable. But before we do that, I want to quickly explain how this execution works, how it works in behind the scene. Let me just quickly explain, because before we got here, we did some installations prior to now, and those installations, now you're gonna be seeing the usefulness of those installations. We installed JDK, and I told you that inside JDK we have compiler, we have Java virtual machines and all those things. So now how they are working, let me show an infographic material of how um, they are working to assist us or to help us execute this particular program. So um, now take a look at this infographic material here. Let's take a look at this infographic material here. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you will see that we have we have write Java code. This is your source code. That code that we wrote there, let's assume this is it. So the moment you write your code, you do what? You When you execute the code, it then be sent to the JDK where we have the compiler. So the compiler compiles it to what? To bytecode, to what is known as Java C. That is, it comes with the bytecode has an extension of C class dot class. You understand? It has an extension of dot class. So after it's been compiled, then it's now been sent to the JVM. The JVM, I mean to the GRE, that is the Java runtime environment, where you have the JVM, and the JVM does what? Interprets the bytecode that was compiled by that was compiled inside JDK. So the JVM checks it, and of course, yeah, it has been checked for during compilation. It has been checked for error. Do you understand? So before it's been sent to JVM, now JVM now interprets it and sent to the what? To the machine. So that's how everything works in reality. So I want to know, I want to believe you understand this. So if there's any question, just please write it in the comment section and let me know, so that I will do my best to answer those. So let's now quickly go back to here. Let's go back to here. So remember, I told us we're going to be delving into the concept of variable, because right now we are just running code. As we run the code, it will run, it will compile, and of course it will execute. Execute. Let's wait for it to. My system is a bit slow, so it's running right now. Okay, so it is executed and it is run, but this thing is not in our memory. It's just we are just executing code that is not in our memory. But to make it persistent into our memory, that is into our RAM, we need to do some extra thing, and that thing is known as what is called memory. I mean variable. So variable. So the concept of variable is like this. Let me explain. Let me clean up this. Now the concept of variable is like this. Before we start to make use of variables, we need to understand various ways at which we can name our variables. Do you understand? First of all, there are different types of variable naming. which is the convention. We have the camel casing. Let me say we have camel casing. Camel casing. This is a way of naming your variable in such a way that the first word is all lower and the second word that will follow the first word we start with what? Uppercase. Let me say I want to write my cat as a variable. For example, you see that the my is lowercase and the cat starts from uppercase then lowercase. Do you understand? So, or I want to say my balance. Do you understand? Say for example, so this convention is known as, this convention is what is known as what this convention is what is known as camel casing. Do you understand? We have another one called Pascal casing. Pascal casing. Pascal casing is a kind of casing system where we have let me say we write the first word, we start with uppercase. After the first word, the next word that we proceed will be what we also start with uppercase. Let me say in that case of my cat, I'll write it like this: my cat. You will see my starts with what? Uppercase, and what also start the cat also starts with what? Uppercase. This is the concept of what? Pascal casing. Another one is what is called snake casing. We have snake casing. Do you understand? So we have snake casing, we have kebab casing, and we have let me sorry, snake casing. This is snake casing. So snake casing is by separating each word with underline, with what? An underscore rather. So let's say I want to write my cat. Do you understand? So these are conventions of writing what? Variable. But I don't want you to stick with camel casing or snake casing. Please don't go for Pascal casing except you are creating. This is most important when you are creating a class. Do you understand? But any other variable, any other identifier, variable or whatsoever, you use what? Camel casing or snake casing. So let's just stick with convention. Now, all through I'll be using camel casing except otherwise otherwise needed. Do you understand? So but I'll stick with camel casing convention. So now another thing to take note of is of course, variable, the kind of variable we want to create is determined by the kind of data we want to store in it. So let's assume we want to store data, integer data. Of course, we are not going to be creating string variable. You understand? Because it will be what? Incompatible. It will not work in Java. So what do we mean? First of all, let's understand this the concept of data types in Java. We have two major types of data types. You have the primitive data types. And we have the what? Non-primitive data types in Java. You understand? So of course most people always forget about this, or most people ignore saying primitive or non-primitive. They just tell you the data type straight. But under primitive data type, we have the number type, which is equals to integer, byte, which is equal to integer, byte, short, long, float, and what? Double. These are number type. Then we also have, under primitive, we also have character type, which is what we have known as what? Char. We also have char. We also have boolean. Boolean type, which is its data type is known as what? Boolean. Do you understand? So these are primitive Java primitive data types. Then under non-primitive data types in Java, we also have characters combination, which is string, we have array, we have model view, we have array, we have array list. All those ones are under non-primitive data types anyways, but of course let's get for the purpose of this particular section, let's focus on primitive data types. And of course we're going to be touching one more non-primitive data types, which is what? String, of course. So but of course just know that string is under non-primitive data types in Java, but we are going to be making reference or making use of it extensively here. So let me start by defining each of these. What is an integer? An integer is a number, or an integer. Okay, an integer is a number without decimal. You understand? An integer is what? A number without decimal. I want us to understand that in mathematics is quite different. Do you understand? 3 in mathematics is same thing as what? 3.0. Do you understand? But in Java, in programming, especially in Java, it is not the same thing. This is an integer, and this is a double. You understand? They are different in terms of what? In terms of data types. They are not equal in terms of data type. So an integers are numbers without what? Decimal point. Then a byte is also a number, but it's a number with 8 bits. A byte is a data type, is a number type, is a data type or a number with what? 8 bits. 8 bits. 8 bits. 8 bits number. Then we have short. Short is also a number. A number, let's say a non-decimal number with what? With 16 bits. Short is a non-decimal number with what? 16 bits. Then long is a non-decimal number too, but by looking at the name, it means a very long number. A very what? Long number. Now, how did I know this is 8 bits, 16 bits, and what have you? I will show you how to check without having to memorize all these things. You don't need to memorize them. Do you understand? You don't need to what? To memorize them, because short equals 2 bytes, and a byte is what? 8 bits. So short equals 2 bytes. Integer is 4 bytes, which makes it what? 32 bits. So long is 8 bytes, which makes it what? 64 bits. So long is a very long non-decimal number with what? With 64 bits. Do you understand? So we have float. So what is float? Float is a number with what? Decimal points. Do you understand? Double is also a number with decimal point. So what is the difference between a float and a double? Now, the difference between a float and a double. Float has a size of what? 32 bits. While double equals 64 bits. Do you understand? And double is much more, is by default considered by Java because of its precision. Double has high precision than float. You understand? But float is of the size of what? 32 bits, while double is of the size of 64 bits. So when you write a decimal point in Java treats it by default as what? Double. Because if you take a look at it behind the scene on the chip level, this is what I mean. On the chip level, Java has the capacity to deal with doubles than float. Do you understand? So let's just forget about what that means for now. But of course, we're going to be getting to know how to understand which one is double, which one is, because they have sizes. Do you understand? So because they have size, you don't mix double and float. And of course, how do we determine the size? We'll get to know later. I will explain on how to um, determine the size of data types. Then another one is char. Char is what? Char is a kind of data type. Of course, it has its own it has its own size too. Char is equals to, say, char is 2 bytes, which is 8 bits. Char is 8 bits. It's a data type that connotes character, so it means character. You understand? So any character whatsoever, because Java deals with uh, uh, Java deals with uh, characters of the whole world. Do you understand? Java is not just one character, so it's a Unicode system. This is what is called Unicode system of characterizing. Java operates Unicode system of what? Characterizing. So which means Unicode, by Unicode we mean characters of the whole world. So if I say if I want to say if I say if I want to say my car, anything that has, let's say, char, my character, my character equals, we can say something like we can say art. You understand? So observe that char is the what? Data types that is specified, because every variable must be declared with a data type. Then the variable name, my char, this is camel casing, equals what? The character enclosed in a single bracket. A char data must be enclosed in a single in a single, in a single quote. You understand? Don't make the mistake of writing double quote to enclose a character data type. It will throw an error. The moment you have two character, then you use double quotes. But if you have one character, it is, even a number can be a character. Do you understand? But because it is enclosed in what? In a quote, and in this case single quote. So this semicolon here, I told you always end each line of statement in Java with what? Semicolon. So that is that. So that is how quickly to write to write variable in Java. So declare the data type, then the variable name, which is the identifier, then you can assign this value to it. So in my case, the value I'm assigning to it is what? Character value, because I'm storing it, so I have to declare. If I store another thing here, it will throw an error because no more the character I declare. So let's see how this works in practical. Let me see if we have another one. Okay, Boolean. Boolean data type. Boolean is a data type that has to do with false, true, and false. So in Boolean, it's a data type with what? True or false value. That is the meaning. So Boolean is a data type with true or false. Boolean is a data type with true or false value. Boolean is a data type with true or false value. So we're gonna be seeing what Boolean is and how they work in. Of course, Boolean has its own size too. So it is what? 4 bytes. It is 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 32 bits. Do you understand? So that is that. So let's and string. Let me just give you the definition of string. String is a combination of combination of 2 or more characters. So let's say here we have, there's a string. My string equals, let's say, at $. Now we have more than one character here, so it has become string. And note that the string character is enclosed inside what? Double quotes. You see that this is double quotes and this is what? Single quotes. Do you understand? So we have double quotes and what? Single quotes. So string is enclosed, string are combination of characters enclosed in what? In a single quote. I hope you understand. So if there's any question, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much. So now let's quickly go to how to use it in practical. This is how to use it in practical. Now let me clean this off. Let me close this off. Let's say, let me close this off. Let's say we have excuse me. Okay, let me say I want to store a number data types. So we have int num, for example, num and equals to, let's say 55. Do we understand? So we now have let me call this number one, num1, then int num2 equals 20. Or first of all, let me comment this number 2 out and do something with that number 1 first. So now we have num1. Do you know why we are having it is being underlined here? It's been underlined because I have not made reference to it. Now this kind of variable, this kind of storing variable to data, this method is known as declaration and assignment. I can equally, okay, let me first of all print this out. Let me say num1. So the moment I make reference to it, this should go. The underline is gone because I have referenced it. So now by assigning value to a variable, I have opened a space in my RAM. So I have opened a memory in my RAM. Do you understand? I didn't make reference to it. Let's say I didn't do anything here. Java will garbage collect it so that it won't occupy a space unnecessarily. But of course, I have made reference to it. It will release it from being garbage collected. So if I run it, you will see that I don't have to put 55 inside the print statement, because of course I need to just reference the variable. The variable is just like a bag, a vault that is holding what? My data. And of course I have specified the data type. So 55 is what is being compiled. 55. So what is going on here? I specified the data type and I created identifier variable in this case, and I will now store what? The value that corresponds to this data type specified inside this variable. So that is, I can equally do it this way. Declare my variable, then after declaring my variable, assign value to my variable. So how do I assign value to my variable? Yeah, I have declared it. I don't need to call the data type again because Java already understand that this is an integer data type. So what I will do is just write num1 equals 55. Do you understand? And mind you, each line I am finishing each line with what? Semicolon. Do you understand? So integer num and of course ending it with what? Semicolon. So this side here is declaration and this side here is assignment. Do you understand? I'm assigning value to what? A variable. You understand? You will see that here I didn't put integer because I have already put integer here. Do you understand? So if I put integer again, it will throw an error. You can't declare twice. You can only declare once. Do you understand? You can only declare a particular variable once. So Java does not support redeclaring of what? Variable. Do you understand? A particular variable. So that is that. So you can only declare once, then assigned. You can assign number. I can decide to change this number. I can decide to do whatsoever thing with this number. So now that I have assigned, there's one thing called mathematical operator, and we can use mathematical operator in what? In, excuse me, we can use mathematical operator in Java. So what are the mathematical operator that can be used? Let me show you. We can use, let me come here, please. The kind of mathematical operator that can be used in Java are this. We can use addition, addition, subtraction, multiplication. We can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. Do you understand? We can use this. We can use power. Do you understand? We can use it. So these are these major mathematical operations we can use. So mathematical operator that we can use on numbers. Do you understand? So how do we use addition? Of course, the plus sign is addition, subtraction is the minus sign, multiplication you use asterisk, and then division you use forward slash, then modulus you check this is modulus, and of course power, I will teach us how to use power. Now addition is just by putting this plus, subtraction and this, and multiplication is this asterisk, which is looking like star, then this forward slash is called division, and this modulus checks if a particular value is divisible by the other value without a reminder. If there is a reminder, it will be equal to 1. If there is no reminder, the value that will be given to us will be equal to what? 0. So let's quickly work with this. Let's see how it's working in practical. Let's say we're going to be starting with addition. Let's say we have int num1, int num2, int num2. So here I now say okay, I now say int num1, int num2. Yeah, I now say num1 equals 15, end it. Num2 equals 10. Now you will see that I did something here. I put forward slash before it. If I open it, it will throw an error. But I put forward slash. The forward slash here means commenting. And what does that mean? It means ignore this line of code. It's a way to tell the compiler or to tell Java not to compile this code. And that is why I put double forward slash. It means commenting in programming, and it's a way to comment your Java code for compiler not to execute that particular line. So that's why. Let me clean it off so that it won't be causing issues. But just know that double forward slash in front of any literal or any line of code makes the line of code not executable. It comments the line of code. It is used to document our Java program or any line of code. So we use it to document. So now I want to use addition num2. So we have num1 what plus what? Num2. So num1 plus num2 will give us what? It will give us 25 mathematically. So it will give us what? 25, and we are correct mathematically. But look at the way I'm doing it. I'm doing the evaluation inside the print statement. This statement is a command that tells Java to execute our code. But we are running the evaluation inside this print statement. But we can equally create a variable for this evaluation. So how do we do it? We can say something like this. We create a variable result. But before we create the variable, we need to also specify the data type the variable will be storing. So for every variable you declare, you have to specify the data type. So let's say int equals result. Int equals result. what am I doing? So excuse me. Int result